The competitiveness of South Africa's exports have often dominated headlines. That's because export growth has been identified as key to reinvigorating the economy. But exporting is a complicated business. The Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in collaboration with Standard Bank, has launched a new export incubator designed to offer Black South African entrepreneurs the opportunity to be trained and assisted in selling their products or services in foreign markets.
JCCI have always been very involved in international trade right from the inception in 1890. And so we have built up a very good skill base amongst the staff, a lot of connectivity internationally, and we're known for the work we do in the trade arena. We have also been involved in projects with the city, GIZ, the ITC in the past on export and developing small exporters. As you know, it's a very complex area and people get into big trouble, lose money, and it's all avoidable if you are well trained, mentored and supported in this process. So the natural thing for us to do was to start an incubator and have people in incubation for about 3 years to train them, give them all the product information they need, prepare them for the marketplace, mentor them, and then actually get them into the marketplace. Because all of that is just theory until you do the first deal. So Standard Bank came on board, which was a very generous sponsorship to set up the incubator on the first floor of our building at JCC House. And we're also looking at a second sponsor coming on board, GIZ being the second sponsor. So it was started earlier this year. We took quite a lot of time selecting people. Not easy to find small black manufacturers and service providers. Because export is seen as too complex, too far away and very onerous, they tend not to enter this arena. So we took a lot of time and effort in this selection process, and we've started the first group of 10. They commenced in February this year. They're well down the road on their training, and the second half of the year we'll now put them into the mentorship program.
A selected participant of the JCCI's Export Incubator program is Liquefier Organic Fuel.
Fortunately, I'm in the program now, very exciting. We're an exciting team. We've got exciting people that are training us, and I mean, you learn things that you never thought of exporting, you know. So I think we're a very fortunate team of people that are involved with the JCCI. Okay, so basically the ethanol gets pumped in here, and then we mix it here automatically, and we put all our dyes, and this is where we actually blend from ethanol being a running liquid into a gel form. And one of our secrets is we've got a very good recipe, and we stick to our recipe. The demand was more and more for energy, for alternative energy, you know, paraffin being toxic, prices of gas going up and all that. And yeah, fortunately through a friend, he took me to Gallagher Estate, and they introduced me to a company that had a show on gels and the manufacturing thereof, and then I got involved. I've gone through the dips as any entrepreneur of the ups and downs, you know, cash flow and not knowing what you're doing and what industry you're in. And yes, fortunately, yeah, I stand today. I own my own factory today. In a short space of time, we, especially to our Red Cap brand, we've captured quite a large market. I mean, we in 3 major retail stores, large cash and carries. We also supply, you know, smaller outlets in townships. You know, we've got distributors that come and buy the product and supply it directly to the people in the township.
The best part about being here at the Liquefier factory for me is that I have stumbled upon a cheaper and safer way of cooking during load shedding. All you need is this bottle of Liquefier gel and this Liquefier stove, which costs around 200 Rand, and this sells around 20 Rand at retail stores. And of course you need a box of matches. I'm going to show you how simple it is to cook on the stove. First, you pour the Liquefier gel into the plate of the stove. light your match and throw it in.
And now I can enjoy a nice cup of tea.
Policymakers have for years reiterated the importance of developing a diversified manufacturing base. With more businesses like this one exporting from the country, particularly in manufacturing, the net result will be more low-skilled job creation. And this is what is needed to substantially reduce high overall and youth unemployment in South Africa.
And then it goes off to the trucks, and then we deliver to Pick and Pay, ShopRite, and whatever retail store we supply out there.
Sheena Mohammed for Joburg Today.
While biofuel stoves are one way of getting by during load shedding, Parkhurst residents have taken this to a whole new level. They're working on getting off-grid completely. Marissa de Klerk investigates.
Going solar, gas and off-grid, one house at a time. Not too long ago, the Parkhurst community stirred up the broadband internet sector by making super fast, cheap fibre internet directly into their homes possible. And they may now just be doing the same for South Africa's alternative energy industry.
Leading by example, Parkhurst Village Residents and Business Owners Association's Ryan Beach quitted City Power and Eskom recently.
I expected that electricity was going to become very expensive, so then I decided to go off the grid. I've always had a keen interest in renewable energy, and then added to that load shedding. That was just like putting petrol on the fire for what I wanted to do.
Having 2,000 houses in Parkhurst off-grid by 2020 is part of the community's Vision 2020 plan.
We believe Eskom electricity is going to become very expensive in this country, and we also believe it's a very unreliable source of energy. We are aiming to create Africa's first smart grid and green hub. We started planning this project towards the end of last year. We started talking to consulting engineers, industry experts. Currently, we've only focused on the PV solutions because of all the problems people are facing with load shedding.
I've had to make quite a couple of changes to my home in order to get off grid. I've started from really a zero basis. I've had to change all my light fittings to LEDs and to compact fluorescents. I've gone solar with my geysers. I've added 12 photovoltaic panels. I've also added a gas water heater to back up my solar.
The off-grid conversion of an average Parkhurst house can cost about 175,000 rand.
A big part of this project was to make this affordable for everybody, and we used our numbers, and we went to suppliers and said to them, we've got 2,000 houses, we're not willing to pay what everybody else is paying, and that's the deals we put together for our residents.
A community project, creates buying power, and that's one of the reasons why this is a very sustainable project. Through that we discounted the product. We incorporated a lot more in regards to the installation of the technology.
The payback period for all the changes I've made to my home with the photovoltaics and solar, etc., will take probably between 8 to 10 years, but I'm coming off a very low base where I've had to put in gas, which a lot of the other residents already have. So for me, with the Eskom and City Power increases in payment that happen year on year, I'm guessing closer to 5 to 7 years payback.
The effect of the Parkhurst program will highlight the potential of what the energy market will do. It will achieve the objective that we need in the industry to make sure that the awareness goes out, that we as an industry and as a company can also say that it can be done, it's affordable, it's sustainable. Once the banks are involved, we will see that the sustainability and the affordability is something that will be achieved. And I think once that model has been achieved, it can be replicated elsewhere.
According to Ryan, 10 houses are already off-grid. He expects at least another 50 Parkhurst homes to follow by the end of the year. Marisa de Klerk, Joburg Today.